Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies.
Alright guys, welcome to Otaku Movie Anatomy episode 2!
Yay!
Where we dissect anime movies down to their very core. I'm your host today, ChubbyBunny Michelle, and today we have...
Jonathan Meza! Yes, anime extraordinaire. There we go.
And I'm Yume Ninja.
Woo! So today we... In case you couldn't tell, y'all, we are discussing Attack on Titan, Crimson Bow and Arrow. Yes, there was a movie that was just the anime, that was not the live action, which we're not talking about today, but even though everyone thinks that we're talking about that.
Yes, this is not the series. This is not the series.
And it is not the live action.
No, it is the movie. That's not the live action movie.
It is part one of two anime movies they did, which is a compilation of episodes 1 through 13. The second movie, which just came out this year, I think last month, is the rest of the episodes. So, here we go.
Yeah.
So, as we all know, Attack on Titan is the hottest shit in anime. Like in 2013,
I think.
13?
13.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
It was like, oh my god, have you seen this stuff?
Yeah, I was at AX that year, and it was just, everyone was wearing, this.
Yep.
Everyone was wearing, they looked just like
Yep.
this right here. And on top of that, they also had the giant packs with just insane. It was
You
insane.
mean this 3D
3D
maneuver
maneuver
The
gear?
3D maneuver gear, incredible.
I feel like you have to say everything about Attack on Titan in German because it's so like German inspired.
Oh, das ist gut. Oh, look, it's so close. That's very nice.
So Attack on Titan in 2009, the manga started, and now there's 4 spin-off manga. There might be more. I'm sure some nerds
There's
online is
definitely
going
more.
to tell shit talking about this. There's a bunch of light novels that turned into manga. There's manga about just Levi. There's manga about the guy who just invented the 3D maneuver gear. Oh, I must have set up there. There is the one extended anime season, which is like 25 episodes, I want to say.
Yeah, sounds about right, yeah.
They just announced the new anime season, which will be sometime next year.
Yep.
For more gore. This season this season they're releasing a chibi version of Attack on Titan. It's a whole anime series of them. They're like little and they're in high school.
It's like
my
Attack on
gosh.
Titan Junior High.
You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
It's airing right now. You can watch it on Crunchyroll or anywhere.
No, it's on
on the internet.
Funimation.
Oh, Funimation.
Yeah.
Sorry. There's 2 live action movies. So the first one came out already. We had heard not good things about it. We can't talk about it here. Second one comes out next year, part 2. There's also a theme park experience there was a theme park experience for Attack on Titan in Osaka at the Universal Studios Japan.
Which you went
Which
to.
I went to.
Oh, how was that?
It was like kind of awesome.
Yeah?
It's super gory. So like the one cool thing is there's photo ops and you can like climb in the Titan's head and like pose, in the Titan. Like they're and all the staff are dressed like in the Survey Corps capes and they're running around going, oh hurry, run with the Titan, okay, I'm gonna get a picture, okay, now go.
Do they have
really
any
weird.
like large titans like that chase you down or like attempt to eat you or anything like that? No? Oh.
They have the ride is just like a walkthrough ride that you go in, you just see like mannequins that look like dead people everywhere. It's so weird. They basically go through the movie plot, but they just show like little scenes like, and here's where they all like everyone died in the forest, and there's just like mannequins with blood everywhere.
Bring your kids!
Legs.
Bring your kids to the
It's
amusement
fun.
park!
Super messed up. Anyway, it's gone now, but so anyway, there's that. Internet memes about Attack on Titan, tons of slash fan fiction. My lord, lots of pairings. So this movie was directed by Tetsuro Araki. He did episode 1. He directed for episode 1 of Attack on Titan anime series. He also did Death Note and High School of the Dead. So super drama guy over here. This movie came out in 2014 in November in Japan. And the manga, as you all know, is written by Hajime Isayama.
Badass.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to get our live feed here. I'm going to get... Oh, look, there we are. I'm trying to
There
get
we
people...
go.
I'm going to see what they're saying to us.
So yeah, this show is live, so if you want to talkie,
Yeah.
only Jonathan can see it. This
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, so, I'm trying to figure that out,
Yeah,
though.
so Jonathan's going to give us a quick movie synopsis.
Yes, okay. Now, if you don't know Attack on Titan by this point, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? Okay, post-apocalyptic world. All of humanity is now stuck within the series of 3 walls. And what's really crazy is we have a class system. We have a class system with the last of humanity. How sad is that? Last few 100,000 people. The inner wall has, the higher class, upper class people, big money, kings, so on and so forth. Middle class, next wall, and then the lower class being the final wall, the outer ring. The show opens up in episode 1 with a colossal titan, which for 100 years now, the titans have never broken through the walls. Humanity's been safe for 100 years. And then the show opens up with a colossal titan, the first one ever. This massive giant titan that is taller than the walls himself, over 50 meters, breaks the outer wall, and now humanity is cut in a third.
F'd in the A.
Yes. And that's kind of where we start off this thing. Eren is our lead character. He's a young boy at the start of it. He has Armin and Mikasa with him. These are our main 3 characters we're going to follow. And I'll stick specifically with the movie here. And so we're going to follow them on their journey as they survive the attack on Titan. I know, right? And then they end up joining the military, which is of this world, the core, the corpse. But there's different versions of that. I'll not get into that right now. And so they basically, this is their journey in the military to defend against Titans and everything that comes with it. Yeah.
And this first movie, there's 2 movies that are going to be like
Yes.
this, only covers the beginning, episode 1 through 13. So 13 is the end of the Battle of Trust when they fill that hole in the wall. Spoilers! Oh, no! If you haven't watched it by now,
They fill the hole in the wall.
fill the hole in the wall.
Yeah.
All right, so Yume is going to bring us some information about how did they make this movie different from the original anime, what was better, worse, quality.
So this movie, it was a lot of just kind of retouching up a lot of it was just pulled straight out from the TV show. So a lot of it was just cleaned up, but it made a huge difference. Like when you just watch like some of the battle scenes, some of the colors, even like the details, there's just whatever they did to it, it's kind of magnificent. Overall, the color scheme, I think they went in and the inner city itself is pretty muted, and I think they want it that way to kind of give it this kind of like dismal look because there's kind of no hope for them. But the movie itself, they go in and like really kind of deepen all the colors. So there's like a lot of reds. Like if you notice, everything is kind of like brown or like earth tone, and then the reds, the blues, and the greens are kind of the only things that really stand out. You see it kind of in Mikasa's scarf. You see it in the Colossal Titan. You see it in the Scouting Legion capes.
Is it like the red string of fate connecting them all?
No, it's the Crimson Bow and Arrow.
We should have a trope buzzer. Every time there's a trope, we're just like, man. That would be the whole show, though.
We should do that.
But yeah, I think you also see like a lot of the animation that has gotten removed from it is like a lot of the gore. I remember there being a lot more blood and gore in the show, but the movie has a lot less of it.
Significantly less.
Well, when you're taking so many episodes and chopping them down,
Yeah.
how much gore can you have? It's still gory. It's still
They're like,
very gory.
there's 30 seconds of spraying blood. It's gotta be
Yeah,
one movie.
like the movie would be 3. It's like you want an extra hour of gore. Like,
But then they add more stuff too, because they kill characters and then there's like entrails, and I was like, that wasn't in the TV show, but then it's clearly like super red, and you're like, okay, you want me to focus on this. But even the designs in this, so it's very obvious that it's kind of like a meld of Western European culture. The walls are very kind of medieval. The architecture in the town, if you notice, it's very like Napoleonic, like what's it called, like Renaissance revival.
yeah. Renaissance.
And then everybody, of course, is very like German.
Yes.
Everybody's German.
Super German.
Yes.
You have
Yeah,
Eren Yeager.
They're almost German. Yes.
But yeah, like, and I think it's funny because it's like Hajime Isayama is like, oh, I'm gonna make this humanity's last stand, but everybody's Western European, specifically these 3 very notable periods of time from Western European culture, and then there's Mikasa, who's like the only Asian.
Which is something that was lost in this version.
Oh, yeah.
Which was lost. The whole concept that the Japanese and the Asian culture is essentially wiped out, and that's why Mikasa is so unique. But it is interesting that Mikasa, being one of the last Japanese, is the strongest person out there. She's a badass.
Yes.
She's like the best character.
Heck yeah,
She
she
holds
is.
the show together.
You know, I think Armin's kind of the best character.
No way.
He's definitely
He grows into
Yeah,
it.
you're
He
right.
grows into it.
But
like
it's
at
a slow
the
burn.
end of the movie.
Yeah. But
Series.
even to kind of like pinpoint that. Like a lot of the characters, you know, it doesn't kind of fall into this similar trope that other anime movies do, or like just anime in general, where all the characters have like really crazy hair and like really colorful like eyes and stuff. Like everybody is very much like realistic looking. You have blondes, you have gray hair, or brown hair, but the characters themselves, like even the background nobodies, are all kind of individuals. And when you look at them, like I noticed this, all of them kind of have very different specific eyes that kind of show their characteristics. So you have like Jean, who's very like, he doesn't want to die, so he wants to take an easy road. He has these kind of like, I want to say like lackadaisical eyes. You have Marco, who does end up dying, spoilers, but he has this kind of like, he has this very like naive look to his eyes, and they're very open. Then you have Annie, who I think is the best character design in this entire series. She's got kind of like an interesting hooked nose, which you don't see in anime a lot. And then her eyes are just very kind of like glazed over, like you can tell she's very skeptic and she's seen some shit, which is kind of character. So yeah, like even Eren, who's kind of just built up on rage, like you see his eyes are very just kind of intense all the time, and Mikasa, who's very like emotionally withdrawn. She's kind of also glazed over.
Yeah,
like,
they always have, her eyes are black on gray.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
But that's what makes her arc so good, though, at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
They get slightly blacker when she's sad. And then when she's happy, they get slightly lighter gray.
They're very consistent about it. Like
My heart.
It's like they thought about it or something. I don't. It's like someone's getting paid to do this.
But the art style in this like series and movie in general, it's like really amazing. Like whenever they do flashbacks, it's done in like a kind of parchment effect.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's like a lot of the bold lines around the characters. Like I thought that was really interesting because it doesn't. It's like it looks 2D. Like it looks like a manuscript. So I thought it was really interesting choices.
Yeah.
But even a lot of the CG, they went back and like added like a lot of like the Titan steam and like flecks from the smoke. Like it was just really beautiful.
Yeah, I noticed the steam a lot more this time around because I read the manga, so I know why there's steam on certain Titans and not other Titans. But. Yeah, see now, but now you're actually seeing it. Because when I watched the anime, I didn't notice that. I was like, are they just making this shit up? But I think they had to go back there and like, no, we need steam now because we talked about it a lot later on.
But even like the Titans are super individual, and like when I was watching it, they look like old grotesque political cartoons of like the Napoleonic age with like the really big heads and disproportionate bodies. But if you notice, the human ones are the only ones that get like kind of like really like they're kind of like beautifully and like anatomically drawn, but then Eren is the only one that's like sexy.
You know what? Now this is the thing. I see your notes. I have your notes that you sent to me, and multiple times she says the sexiest Titan, the sexy Titan.
He is the sexy Titan.
He's not sexy. He's got like 70 teeth, and he's gonna eat your face.
But he's the only one that other than Reiner.
Because he's ripped.
He's like ripped, but like he's got ab definition, and he's got like a full head of hair.
As we all know, all girls, they just love 36 abs on a guy.
Yeah.
They love 36
abs. Yeah. My goodness.
You have to agree. Like you see the colossal Titans, and you notice the two Titans are different. Like the one that breaks the wall the first time, and then one has hair and one doesn't. But like
so like one is slightly more attractive. The bigger you, so I see what you're saying though.
I've never looked at Titans in an attractive sense.
Let's not
even the female Titan, which will come in the second movie, like even then I was just like, nah, that's.
But I guess you could say they just look more humanoid.
They do,
because the other Titans look like blobby, fat. Like they look like fat suits, which they use in the live action movie. Sorry, I keep talking about that. It just really bothered me. But like they look like fleshy. Like their eyes are always askew. But Eren's looks like a dude with hair.
Yeah,
he's the only guy who gets like cool hair.
And it's like it's not short hair. It's like long wispy hair. And then he's got like defined bodies. He doesn't have like the red like muscles like the other two. Or even like the female one. He's the only one that's just like skin colored and 32 abs.
32. Yeah. I mean, we can probably sit here. There's like
we can
there's
count
8 in the middle, and then there's like 7 on each side.
Yeah. My gosh.
This is the ab show, guys. We're just gonna count abs.
This is the ab episode. But
but this is the thing. It is a key in for any of those who are just watching this movie, or for the first time, and like this is your experience of Attack on Titan. Like this is a big key into like secrets that are going to be happening later. When you see a Titan like this, you'll see a few more, and you recognize that because it means something very specific.
Yeah, it's not just we're going to draw these more with them to look nice. It's like this has meaning. Everything has meaning. We planned this. We wrote it, guys.
Everything's got layers.
Oh yeah, this show is such layers upon layers upon layers. It's the type of thing where like even in a synopsis, like we could tell you so much, but there's just secrets upon secrets upon secrets. I read the manga as well, and like I still don't know what the hell's going on in so many
It's getting a little convoluted.
A little bit. Crazy. Oh, goodness.
But back to the movie.
Yes.
So
Movie.
it's hard not to talk about
hard.
all the stuff that it's based on.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so rich. Like the actual like what is it? Like the actual title is just such like great world building, and then that's why it's so popular and has like crazy spin-offs.
Yeah, we're big fans, people. We're big fans. I just need a jacket so I could,
I know,
jump
so
in
you can
on
fit
this.
in.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, but speaking of the original anime and all the original works, Jonathan's going to give us a good old comparison.
Yes, so let's do a little
rundown.
comparison. All right, so the way you look at this movie as opposed to the series is sort of like taking a book and then making a book into a movie. You're going to have to lose a lot of things. So that they trim the fat. In a lot of ways, the movie is paced better. It does look a lot better, especially, a lot of the scenes where they're sort of flying through the city using the 3D maneuvering gear. That looks really nice. So it's paced better, and I would say if you haven't watched either, I mean, you want to watch the movie, I think, over the anime. However, there are so many things that you're going to miss in the anime, and that's a lot of character development.
Yeah.
A lot of the principal characters get washed over and lost in the movie because, you've got to fit 13 episodes into essentially 2 hours.
Yeah.
And so you're going to miss a lot of that. Let's see. Oh, one of the biggest things in the movie that you're going to miss also is a huge plot jump, and it was very jarring and confusing. So after Eren becomes a Titan and sort of saves everyone, from this battle, he's picked up by the military police, and then they're going to shoot him with a cannon in the face, basically because they see him as a threat and not as an asset. And all of a sudden, the movie does this really weird jump. Like they're focused on Jean, and Jean is talking about like no one's going to be able to keep this secret. All of a sudden, it jumps to Eren being shot with a cannon, which in the show would make a lot of sense. In the movie, it does not, and it's jarring
because you don't even see them get back into town.
Yes, it's very jarring and very weird. Outside of that plot point, the plot works, and you'll be able to get everything you need out of the story outside of missing a lot of principal characters. Mikasa's still a badass, and when you follow the three main characters like they do in the movie, when all of the attention is focused on them, you really get to feel for them. Mikasa's arc in this movie is incredible. Especially and they when they kill off Eren, boy, this is just spoilers, of course. But when they kill off Eren, just like when I was watching the series, watching the movie, you get the feel that Eren is literally gone and that the story's actually going to be about Mikasa.
Yeah.
Which is a powerful, powerful moment, and they keep all that, which is wonderful. So let's see. Oh goodness, I think I'm hitting everything. Let's see. They did some really nice things graphic-wise in the memories. Like I love what they do with the memories, as well as like adding some fire and some things like that to
was that
emphasize.
in the original? Was that
No, that was not.
So when
in the
they
original.
flash back, I noticed it's like an old-timesy movie, and I remember I wrote my notes. I'm like, did they have old-timesy movies back then? Did they have like TV and film?
Yeah, it's kind of what I was talking about, like the stylization of just kind of flashbacks. Like they do it kind of like it's like an illuminated manuscript that's kind of fluttery, like
make
moving
it.
Yeah.
Brown?
Yeah.
Is that the
like
technical word?
No, it's like sepia.
It's sepia. Yeah, it's like
Is it
sepia.
sepia or sepia?
Just call the whole thing off.
I don't know.
Tomato.
Some of the things you're going to miss in the movie are information on the Titans. Like they get to the information about the world, which is fine. They kind of give you the walls and sort of how everything's structured, but you don't get the information on the Titans, why you have to stab the back of the neck and why that's specifically their weak point. The fact that Titans regenerate. This is all important information that you're not going to get, as well as missing probably my favorite scene in the entire series, the potato scene. Sasha.
I know.
and the
I was really
potato.
sad about that.
She's not a potato girl. She's just the meat girl.
she's
I
the
wrote a
meat
note about
girl.
that too. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
The potato is very important. Attack on Tato.
Attack on Potato. And so, listen, if you watch the movie and this is your only experience with it, like, you're good. It's totally awesome, and I would suggest it. However, go back and, like, look up the potato scene.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss the potato
Potato
scene.
good lord. And in the live action movie, I'm sorry I keep talking about it, they're just like, potato girl is our only comedic relief. We're just gonna keep going back to potato girl
Potato
every
girl.
5 minutes. It's ridiculous.
You know what else that I think was kind of important that they skipped from the movie and series is when Eren kind of does his like boxing sense, but he learns it from Annie
Yes,
in
he learns
training.
from Annie.
And so you see Mikasa and Armin looking at it like, oh, she's like, well, he seems like he knows hand-to-hand combat, but you're like, no, that's specifically
To Annie.
Annie teaching Eren. That's why you know
Yeah.
that it's Eren.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing that's skipped in the movie is the entire training process for them getting into the military. It goes from them as kids to like everything that happens to them as kids, and then boom, they're graduating from the military academy. However, there's a lot of information, a lot of character development that is lost there. You will spend more time with the leads, which is great, but gosh, it leaves some other characters pretty flat.
I gotta say though, the only one of the good things that came out of that is that Eren's little whiny bitch persona is like so much more muted.
Yes.
True.
It's great. I was like, Eren is kind of a badass in the movie. He's
Yeah.
kind of. I talk about this later, but he's kind of a fucking badass. I kind of like this guy, this sexy Titan guy, as Yume would say. But the thing you do lose that's in the character development that I think was like the biggest hole was. You know when everyone starts dying? Like when the Squadron 53 or 37, I'm sure someone out there is
I think
like,
it's 34.
I know, right?
Michelle, how dare you not?
I couldn't get them up there.
But all of them die except for Armin and Eren, and it's a much bigger blow as a viewer when you're like, oh god, I was liking all of these characters, and they just got killed off right away.
And you know they added a lot of that, like that squad. I think it's Squad 34. Them flying through the town was some of the stuff that they added for that movie.
Yeah.
But like because you don't have that kind of relationship with Eren and Armin and that whole squad, you're like, okay, well now they're all just dying.
Yeah, when he loses his mind over Thomas getting killed.
You're like,
Thomas, you son of a
Like
bitch.
we didn't even know his name was Thomas.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, Thomas is dead.
because if Attack on Titan's good at anything, because they know it's an ensemble movie when they're writing it, or when they're writing the script, is that they have to like, hey there, Armin. They're very good at like saying everyone's name as they walk up to them, like, oh come on, Historia, don't be like that. Or is it? It's not Historia, is it?
No, it's
not Historia yet.
Krista.
Spoilers.
Oh no, that's not.
It's not Historia
Did
yet.
they even say that in movie 2? They wouldn't even say that
No,
in movie
it's
2.
manga.
Oh
It's
no,
manga.
I'm sorry. Oh my gosh.
This
yeah,
is
manga
spoilers for
only.
season 2.
Yikes,
We're giving you right here.
yikes.
Just don't think about Historia. Just put that out of your mind.
So I guess what we're trying to say is watch the anime if you want to be more emotionally traumatized.
Yes.
Watch the movie if you just want to be like, okay, I saw it, so I can
catch up.
party with all the other guys who are calling me a noob for not knowing, which is a valid point. I had that feeling when I didn't watch Attack on Titan for a while. I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
And the thing is, too, I mean, if you want to get Attack on Titan and you don't want to go through a long, kind of arduous process, the movie is paced so well. It's fast and it is full of action. Oh, look, there's that picture right there of the fire that they added from him coming out. Like, that's I totally missed that up there on the screen. No, it is paced very well. It is fast and it has got action. It is action.
It sure fucking does. I'll tell you what.
Hell yeah.
All right, do you have anything else to add for our comparison overview?
I think I hit everything. Went pretty quick on that.
Everything.
We're gonna blabbered on.
We're gonna start getting a little serious nature over here.
I know.
So I'm gonna start talking about some of the themes, y'all, in Attack on Titan.
And there are a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. Yeah. Okay, so this fucking song, the first words in this song. I guess I can skip to that real quick. So the opening song is called Gure no Yumiya, which is Crimson Bow and Arrow, which is what this movie is called. This version of the song, by the way, is kind of like a rock version of the original anime opening.
Yeah, it's nice.
I hate it.
The same.
Oh, come on!
So they end this movie with a song, like they play it over the dynamic ending, and then it rolls into the credits, and it's very like, oh, let me introduce Levi with this music. But it's the same band. They just kind of like did a little different version. I feel like there was a copyright thing or something, and they could like I feel like
their own song.
I feel like I don't know. But anyway, it was nice to have a different version of a well-loved song. But in this song, it's called. So it means Crimson Bow and Arrow, and it's talking about. The first line is, "Are we food? Are we food? Are we prey? No, we're the hunter." I could try to say this in German. It's like "Seid ihr das Essen? Nein, wir sind der Jäger." So Jäger. So
Jäger.
guess whose last name is Yeager?
Hey, Eren Yeager,
is very
lead
like
character.
we just spelled this out for you guys. Hey, it's in the song. So Eren. The whole movie revolves around like what does it feel like to be on the losing side of a war? The themes of war and feeling trapped by.
Oh yes, important point on what you're saying right there. And when you're watching this movie, the humans have never won a battle ever against the Titans.
Right.
That is very important.
Yeah.
Never ever in the history that they know.
And I think most history books, as humans, we read them from the side of the winners. So we don't get. I mean, as regular people in the world now, we don't get a perspective of what it's like to be totally annihilated, feeling like we are just gonna die eventually. Like our whole people are gonna be taken away, and rough times, y'all. And that's how the show feels. You feel like
It
holy
starts off
shit.
that way. It's like, this is how the show starts.
Yeah,
Or the
it
movie
starts-
starts.
yeah,
this
there's
way.
just-
The
it
movie
seems
gives
there's
you
no
so
hope.
much of episode 1, which is literally no hope. Like episode 1 leaves you destroyed, and they kept almost all of it in this movie. They just destroy you.
Yeah, and then you could say that, the hunter and the prey, the hunters are obviously the Titans because they're physically eating them. Very literal. But, them fighting against the Titans, this could represent a lot of things. Society, war, violence, mankind. And so, it's fine. But we find out later that it's not just the Titans who are their oppressors. It's like humankind who maybe made the Titans.
Of course, behind every bad Titan, there's a bad human. It's like a Pokemon. You can't have a
is.
bad Pokemon.
Is that,
Only a bad
is that
trainer.
really what the analogy is
That's
about?
where we're going here.
All right. But obviously, one of the biggest themes, we're going to jump back to what I was talking about originally, that it's freedom, freedom versus the oppression of a society, which is the Titans. There is a physical effing wall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, can we get more literal about our, metaphor? Like, this is a wall, and it's gonna keep us out from the outside, and we're not gonna see the ocean and the birds and shit. And there's a scene. it's a little more. They dwell on it a lot in the movie. I was surprised.
Yeah.
Because they're really trying hard to push the theme is that, freedom is being able to do whatever you want and realizing there's stuff that you're not seeing, and then choosing to go look at that thing, But in this world, they're not allowed to talk about it. They talk briefly, there's a line about, these books are outlawed, like the police, what do they call them?
The military police.
Yeah.
Military police will
Yeah,
come.
the only book that we see that has any information about the outside world is hidden by Armin's grandfather, and Armin has to basically steal it, and they can get arrested for even
Just
reading
having
it.
it,
Yeah.
So it's kind of about, there's a freedom to be had, but you have to fight for it, and it's dangerous to get that freedom, but it is worth it. And that's like the main theme of the whole series.
I will not be livestock.
Yeah.
I will not be livestock.
And Eren has like a realization about, needing to go out into the outside world. And I think the first time he remembers it in the movie anyway is when he starts to see Armin being eaten, and he's kind of like all fucked up, like he's missing a leg, and he's like laying on the roof.
Yeah.
And he starts to think about this book. And, he thinks about Armin saying, do you want to go out there one day? Like, do you want to see it together? Like, and it's very like my childhood promise to my friend. I must keep it. And he goes on one of his crazy Eren rages, as we'll now call them. He fucking rages hard.
Oh, he
Tantrum
does.
storms.
He does.
He rages.
And because he rages, because of emotion, he's able to get Armin out of the Titan, and he pops into he's in the mouth himself now of the Titan, and he says to Armin as he's like sitting on the wall, like, what the fuck just happened? We're definitely gonna go see it one day, and then he gets eaten. He gets eaten. He gets eaten.
He gets eaten. He gets eaten.
The only reason I can think about him having this realization and then getting eaten is that maybe he wants the freedom, but he doesn't understand the risk and the danger. And that's like he's being punished for not just saying it, is different than really wanting it. But don't worry, he goes back later and he realizes it for fucking real.
Yeah, because that's the thing he says right before getting eaten, and then when he's lost himself in the battle at the end, and at the end, it's that line that brings him out of his dreamlike state to like
he has some
fulfill.
realizations.
But
He has multi-tier realization.
Even like when you see him with his parents in the beginning, when Mikasa tells that his mom that he wants to join the Scouting Legion, you get the feeling that he doesn't really understand like the cost of it, because he sees them like, oh, they're heroes coming back, and then like the mom's like, where's my son? Was he useful? And then the dude who's like the worst
boss.
like this is something I see a lot in Japanese anime, where it's just like these military people who are supposed to like be calm and train, they just lose and like, oh my god, we're so hopeless, and they tell absolute like civilians, and you're just like, you would be so fucking fired. That was like, if that was the U.S. Army, they'd be like, bye, we don't want you anymore.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah.
Done.
But going back to what Jonathan was saying, when he's so at the very end of the movie, when they're trying to fill that fucking hole in the wall, Eren turns into a Titan, but he's unable to. His consciousness won't because he can't control the Titan. He realizes, he has like a little talk with Armin, and he realizes he has this whole dramatic scene about him realizing there is going to be danger. The world outside is dangerous, and if you want to see it, you have to be ready to accept that part, and that you might die, and that you might fail, but you have to. You can't be. It's better to be free and in danger than to be safe and in a cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom. Symbolism, metaphors everywhere,
Yeah.
fucking everywhere.
No, and Mikasa has a similar. I mean, she has that realization after Eren dies,
Yeah.
where she says to all the rest of her the troop. Well, not even her troop. It's whoever's left. That they're cowards and they're weak. And she says that if we go and we fight, if I live, then I'll win. But if I don't at least fight, then I've lost.
Yeah.
And you have to fight.
Yeah, it's very like gambaru spirit, bitches. Like you gotta gambate hard.
Mikasa.
Yeah, I mean that speech Eren gives at the very end, it's like in his head as he's regaining control of the Titan, and he's like, gotta get this rock in the hole. He starts to think. I wrote this out down because it was so like, whoa, he's like, when we are born, all of us are free, and people who deny that doesn't make any sense in English. People who deny that, doesn't matter who they are. The burning water, the land of ice. It doesn't matter what it is. Anyone who sees that is the most free person that I've ever encountered in this world. So you have to fight, and you have to value a life that's free and not one that's not free. And then he's just saying like, "Tatakae,
Fight!
tatakae!" And I'm like, "Holy shit!" And it just builds, and it's such a great cinematic moment. It just builds and builds, and everyone's like. Everyone, he's not saying it out loud, but just, you see these shots of all the other characters being like, oh shit, come on, we gotta fight harder, we gotta make sure Eren gets to this hole in the wall, and it's a big fucking deal.
It's really powerful too, because this is this final battle where Eren is trying to plug up a hole in the wall. And the wall is, obviously the thing that's, protecting the humans from Titans, and it's been breached by the Colossal Titan. Again, this is the second time. And Eren, as a Titan, has to plug up the hole. So all the humans are trying to clear out the Titans around him, but they're all dying. They are literally dying. And these are like the elite forces are getting murdered, and you watch them die so they could fill this hole. And that's victory. This is the first victory the humans had ever had against the Titans, just plugging up a hole and stopping them from killing everyone. But at the same time, everyone's still almost dead. It's pretty intense.
I mean, that scene ends with what's the name of that
Levi.
girl with the girl? That scene. That scene is the girl with the white hair.
Oh
kneels
yes.
down.
Ah.
Oh god,
her name.
I'm gonna get so.
Megane-chan.
Yeah, Megane-chan.
Megane-chan.
Glasses girl. She starts crying and kneels and falls to her knees, and she says we did it. We finally did it. It was all work. All those deaths mean something, like you said.
Yeah.
And then she shoots the green smoke bomb, which means it was a
That
victory.
was successful.
Yeah.
That's another thing that you have to point out too in that film, where it's just when Eren is helping them, it's the elite forces and also just the trainees, because it's their day before they get to, some of them are going into the the inner wall and stuff. So it's a bunch of newbies, and these elite forces finally having the help of a humanoid Titan help them finally have one small victory.
Yeah.
So it's a hole in the wall, but it's a big fucking deal. I'll tell you what.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Gosh, if you've never seen this show, you're in for it. You are in for it. This movie is gonna blow you away.
Yeah, and another thing that makes this movie so great, it isn't just the amazing animation, it's not just the awesome opening music, it's not just
the gore, the death, the
really
despair,
the deep themes, the movingness. It's these fucking awesome characters. This ensemble cast fucking knocks it out of the park. They seriously, in the movie, it's like we said before, there's less characters to deal with, and there's less character development as a whole. 2 hours is less than 13 episodes worth. But Armin, Mikasa, and Eren they build them very well, I think, in this movie. I want
to talk about Armin and his character. I mean, if we can go through these three real quick. Armin is a really cool character because he's essentially the smartest of the three, but he's the weakest, the most physically incapable. But he really grows into himself in the movie in being able to create plans, strategize, being able to create the structure for them to survive. And that's something that's really powerful that you're going to have in the second season as well, where he really is a key element to everything.
He's a badass in his own way.
Yeah.
He's the Shikamaru. He's Shikamaru in Naruto. He's the Shikamaru.
Your weeb is showing.
Yeah. That's what Armin is. He's a Shikamaru.
But I think Armin is also he's one of the most realistic ones, because most people react the way he does. I mean, he joins the scouting legion because his two best friends are there, and they've been there supporting him, because he realizes he's the weakest link. But that moment where he's just kind of on the roof and frozen and just not knowing what to do, and trying to kind of think his way through it and force himself forward. I think most people are like that. I think that's why he's so interesting.
Yeah.
I think so because there's three of them. The way I think this was written is that they all are here to support each other. By themselves, they are almost okay. They're almost brilliant by themselves, but then they have this, they have a failure. They have a huge failure, and then it's up to one of the other two characters to support them in some way, and so that they don't die or freak out. And so if we would talk about each character, representing emotion, Armin would be anxiety or unsureness. Mikasa would definitely be stoicism. And Eren would just be rage. Like rage in a bottle. And so for Armin, he has two big freak out sessions. One, right when the first, right after they graduate, and he's trying to like buckle his 3D maneuver gear or get the gas cans, and he's just doing this.
That's right.
And Mikasa and Eren, come by and they're like, dude. And he's like, I'm fine. But then he starts saying like, oh my God, like he starts listing out all the reasons why they're going to fail. Because his anxiety, it causes him failure because he's worried about all the reasons why it won't work. He's not thinking about the reasons to make it work, which he gets to. He does get to at some point.
Because it's a double-edged sword, baby. It's a double-edged sword.
So at that point, when he's trying to get the gas tanks connected, Mikasa and Eren are like, it's going to settle down. It's going to be fine. And he kind of like, for a second, he's like, yes, I'm fine. But it's not like a real transformation just then. But then... what is it? He makes when they go into the building. So they've seen the colossal titan. Connie, Mikasa, and Armin swoop into the building to try to find more gas tanks for everybody else. They met their team back there, and he makes the plan to get the gas tanks. All these people against 7 titans and just shotguns. And it's pretty badass. Like he is like boop boop boop. We're gonna do this, but he's very unsure. He's like, I don't know. This is the best
really
plan.
risky plan.
Yeah. But Armin he's the one who comes up with the plan. And I love that. You're right. I mean, he turns his flaw into his strength. But at the same time, he's not physically capable of doing it, but he's able to delegate, to lead. And that's a really cool quality.
And even in that moment, he says, like, I don't know if this is good enough. Mikasa's like, this is going to work. It's the only plan. Like, she says something kind of like, you have a great talent. You have a great mind or a great talent for this. I'll talk to you about it later. I'm like, oh, girl, you ain't never going to talk about it later. But it's like that's one of his like mini breakthroughs. The biggest breakthrough is when this is after Eren is turned into a Titan. They have all the cannons point all the dudes, all the other Survey Corps.
Yeah, I wish I could remember that.
The Rose Guard.
I've forgotten the name of that commander, that sergeant who was about to shoot him with the cannon. The really scared one. He's terrified of everything.
I can't remember his name.
I don't think they even say it in the movie.
He's like worst boss number 2.
Yeah, worst boss number 2.
Terrible. Why is he in the military? Anyway, so he's going to shoot them with a cannon. Yeah, exactly.
So it's Eren, Mikasa, and Armin, and they skip this part in the movie. Like, how do they end up next to the wall with all these cannons pointing at them? They just do.
Big hole.
Big hole. But they're there, and they shoot at them, and Eren turns into like half a Titan, and it's like super grotesque. He's just a ribcage protecting everybody. And then at that moment, Armin has this like breakthrough, like all this time in wanting to protect my friends, and if I don't do something right now, we're never going to be together again, and the only way that we're all going to survive is if we're always together. So he just has this like crazy great breakthrough. He's like, I'll take care of this. You guys just, I don't know. And then he walks out through the clouds.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this? What's this?
What? Oh, he does this like crazy. He gets all bulgy eyed,
and does this like amazing salute.
And he salutes his way. Actually, he Ace Attorneys his way.
He does. He does Ace Attorney.
I don't remember it being so Ace Attorney in the regular anime, but in the movie anyway, they wrong
Steven,
attorney.
You're awesome. That's
it's
fantastic.
more of a objection. He totally objections him. So the crazy bad boss, terrible boss number 2, says, he's like, what proof do we have that he's not gonna run amok, that this Titan that we all saw him change? And then Armin totally has like a green flash behind his head, and he's like, wait a minute, we don't need any more proof. We have all the evidence we need right here. And I was like, wow, Phoenix, right back in town. And his reasoning is that his Eren's Titan was the prey. They were all attacking him. He wasn't part of that team. Everyone saw it.
They all saw it. It's just, fear is leading them, which is great because actually that fear and anxiety that they have was originally what was holding Armin back, and that's what he overcomes to, save the day. I just realized that right now.
But then, so Armin, great character. Again, slow burn for me. I didn't like him at all at first, and then now after this movie, I liked him a lot more. Because again, we trimmed a lot of the fat of him just being like,
Yeah.
He's just bulgy-eyed a lot.
In the series, you're going to get a lot more crybaby.
Cryberry.
Oh, cryberry. He's going to be such a
One little
cryberry.
cryberry.
Just like Eren is like a lot of like whiny bitch.
Yeah.
Like Armin's
Yeah.
like crybaby, sit in the corner.
Yeah. The only one who's always cool in the series or in the movie is Mikasa.
Yeah, it is.
But real quick to non-whiny baby Eren.
Non-whiny baby.
So he's the second. Slowly say leg in this tripod. That doesn't make any sense.
No, that's good.
The second leg in this tripod.
That's good.
Is Eren, and we talked about how he embodies rage. His rage literally
Yeah.
transforms him into the savior of humanity. He
Yeah.
turns into the Titan. But we discussed before how he had two realizations about freedom, needing but he comes to those realizations because of Armin. It's not because he was thinking about himself so much, just because Armin showed him that book when they were children. He thought about it until he became an adult, and look at him now, buddy. He's gonna save the whole town.
And Eren is the catalyst. I mean, he's the catalyst for
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
For bringing out, I mean, so you have Mikasa, who is this strength, and then you have Armin, who is this mind, and then Eren is this catalyst, this spirit. Ooh! There you go.
Yeah.
Body, mind, and spirit. And he is the catalyst that makes everyone better because he's always putting them on the spot to do, to act,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
think, to create.
Yeah.
And he's fantastic. Driving force.
Driving
is.
force. The only time, I guess, in this movie, we took a lot of the whiny bitch out. So the only time we really see his rage take too much control is when he's talking. They're in the cafeteria after graduating.
Yeah, when he's
And
fighting with Jean.
He's fighting with John the John and Eren fights are some of my favorite fights. Like some of my favorite no you stop it, no you like it's just like bitchy slap fights. And then Mikasa literally picks him up and starts walking away. And everyone's laughing at him. She goes outside, she puts him down, and she's all, when you get mad, you lose your head. And he's just like, and he needs Mikasa. And at this point, he needs Mikasa to temper him. Which brings us to our favorite character, Mikasa.
Mikasa!
This is a
Oh,
tiny
she's so
Mikasa,
awesome.
in case you couldn't tell on the screen.
Can you guys see that?
It's
Can
like
you
the
see little
smallest Mikasa.
She's so good.
So
The little
Mikasa,
blade. The little blade.
Mikasa almost, well, I guess you could say you would think she never fails because she's stoic and that makes a good fighter. But it does. Her stoicism is her failure for a little bit. It works because she tempers Eren's rage. She tempers Armin's anxiety, and she kind of is everyone's rock.
Yeah.
But after she thinks that Eren is dead, the first time dead again in quote marks.
Yeah.
After Eren dies and she finds out, she gives this kind of weird speech to everyone, like, you're all weak, I'm strong, I'm stronger than any of you, like, go get your gas tanks, and I'm gonna take care of this because, I'm better than you, and I don't care and she says that line, if I don't fight, if I lose, I'll die.
Yeah.
If I win, I live.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go fight. And she goes, zoop. She leaves. Armin's the only one who knows. Everyone else is like, wow, she's such a badass. Let's go follow her.
The thing about that moment is that this is the first time she really talks so outwardly towards everyone, calling them weak in such a way. It's not her personality. And it's because her going off to fight is actually a suicidal move. Because once she realizes she lost Eren, this is now that double-edged sword of her character. Like, she is going to go and fight herself to death and just allow herself to die because her biggest weakness is losing the one she loves. And once she lost Eren, she doesn't want to live anymore.
Yeah, because her stoicism comes from the comfort of her family that she, she calls them her family.
Yeah.
And in this moment, Armin is the only one. He's still laying on the ground, all crazy. He's like, whoa, something's not right, and he gets up because he's the third leg of this tripod.
The third leg of the
third
tripod.
leg of the tripod.
This is
And he's
now
like,
a thing.
I have to go and help her because I am part of this tripod. So, she goes off. She encounters a Titan.
She runs out of gas.
Runs out of gas.
Yeah.
Metaphorically and literally.
They do a lot of
They
that.
do.
Yeah.
It's very
on
like,
purpose.
here you go.
Yeah.
I don't think, do they say that in Japanese? Like where you run out of gas makes you, well, they have gas in cars, so surely running out of gas.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
There's just
It's
a
not
lot
just
of,
a Western idiom.
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah, so she goes on a rampage
Right.
killing Titans, but literally is pushing her her gear, her 3D gear, to the limit, and then runs out of fuel, and then is stuck on the ground fighting Titans, and then she just sits there basically to die.
Yeah.
But she still has a little bit left in her spiritual tank. Yeah.
There's a little bit of gas left because her other tripod brings her through it.
Yeah.
She starts having this flashback. This is the first time is it the first time in the movie that we see how her and Eren met?
Yeah.
Yes,
In the
which
movie,
is in the series you'll get a lot of that story. There's a whole episode devoted to the story of how Mikasa and Eren met, which is horrible. I mean, her mother and father get murdered because her mother is pure Japanese, and there's like almost none of them left. And then so they end up kidnapping her. These kidnappers take her because she's half Japanese, and then Eren goes to save her and murders some of these guys in front of her, which she says is beautiful. Beautiful
So,
death.
in this scene, so we kind of see up on screen here, before, so
there it is.
she's seeing that the world, she says, Sekai wa zankoku da, and that just means, like, she says in the movie a lot, it's like the tagline of the live action movie, sorry. But she's like, the world is terrible, the world is hideous. And then she sees Eren fighting off her captors, and she says, the world is beautiful. And then in this moment, she's hearing Eren as a child tell her to fight, because in this scene, when back when these guys are trying to kill her or kidnap her, she's holding a knife and she's too afraid to do anything with it.
Yeah.
So she needs Eren to give her something to fight for, because she is a little girl. She lost her parents. She probably wants to die. So she's feeling this feeling all over again. And then she says, like, oh my God, it's happening again. Like, what do I do? And then, she's, kneels down, she closes her eyes, and she says, it's been a good life. And everyone watching is like, no, my favorite character. I'm going to stop watching. Like, everyone freaks out. It's totally like, it's the same feeling that people have with Walking Dead. You're like, God, they're going to kill my favorite character now.
Or Game of Thrones.
Because you feel like no one's safe, like anyone could go.
Everyone could go.
But not the tripod, because her memory of him is what, she, at the last minute, she dodges the Titan and, tries to get away. And she's like, what am I doing? And she realizes, she's like, she starts being upset. She's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, Eren. I realize that if I die, there'll be no one to have your memory, to think about you. And that's really fucking sweet. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
But then so Eren, even though she thinks Eren is not there anymore, that tripod keeps this whole standing tripod up.
Right before she's saved by Eren himself.
Yeah, and then she's saved by him physically.
Titan form.
And
Oh, the tripod. I like the tripod.
You like the tripod? There's got to be a better...
Well, the thing is, I mean, I love it.
Trifecta, guys.
Well, this is what they are. They're mind, body, and spirit. I'm serious.
Yeah,
they're mind, body, and spirit. That's what they are.
Oh, yeah.
And they all need each other, because if you think about it, like, as their children, because Mikasa wouldn't have killed that third kidnapper, because there were 3. If Eren hadn't been the catalyst to kind of egg her on to kind of become the badass that she would become. And in the moment of her losing it, she kind of momentarily loses all that will until she thinks about him.
Yeah.
So it's all very interconnected.
And I find it very
Mind, body, and spirit.
I find it very annoying and very basic of people. I don't use that word lightly. When people are like, "Oh, it's because Mikasa's in love with Eren." I'm like, it is way fucking deeper than that.
It is.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Oh,
deeper than
yeah.
that.
He is. She calls him her family.
Yeah.
And it's deeper than just a romantic love. And
Yeah.
that's why you shouldn't see the live action movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, do they really play?
I don't know,
understand it.
man.
Is it really-
They're like leading up to it, but it's
No, I mean the whole point is that it comes from a very like visceral, like deep-rooted place that is so beyond like just cute affection or love like that. It's like a deep love that's.
It's her only
hard
reason
to
for
ex-
living.
Yeah.
So she's completely devoted to him. It's just like when they graduate, she's like, I will join the Scouting Legion if you do. If you join the military police, I will join that. Wherever you go, I'm going to go because I have to protect you because I need to be with my family.
Yeah, they're soul-bound.
And then, actually, we can talk a little, but that part is, sorry, when they graduate and they suddenly get thrown into the battle and Mikasa finds, they just finished comforting Armin, I believe, and then Mikasa says to Eren, if things start getting weird, come and find me.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be, she's kind of like a high-ranking soldier. She gets put in to protect the people instead of out in the field. And Eren just gets super mad at her and is like, no, that's not how this works. Like this is war. This is the extinction of humanity. Like no one cares what you want. And he goes, ugh, and then walks away. And she's very like, oh, I was foolish. But then, her rejecting her in that moment is ultimately like, shit could have been a lot better for him if he would just gone and found Mikasa.
Yeah,
It's true.
seriously.
Because that trifecta, that tripod of trifecta. I'll tell you what.
But it
don't
comes.
mess with it.
You'll see it realized more in the second movie. That second movie is gonna. It's gonna tie a lot
roll.
together, right?
And then some of the other smaller characters who, God bless, but every character has a fun. It has a different kind of motivation. Not everyone's just like, I gotta save humanity or I gotta avenge my dead mom. Like everyone's a little different. So we have so obviously Mikasa is she's motivated by protecting Eren, her family. We have
Sasha.
I knew they were gonna say that. I was like, I just
Potatoes.
looked in your eyes, looked in your
Potatoes.
eyes, and saw
Sasha.
potatoes.
Potatoes, but now she's a meat. Okay, if you're a series watcher, she's a potato girl. If you're a movie watcher, she's the meat girl. But either way, she's an eater, and I just love Sasha's character. She's an eater.
And then at the end of the movie, so we haven't talked about our friend Levi yet.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Levi.
Levi is the favorite character.
Yeah, he literally fucking swoops in.
He does.
And saves. So Eren just finishes being a Titan. They pull him out of the neck part.
That's right. So he's plugged up the hole. He saved the day, first ever win ever. But there's still Titans there that are going to eat him. Yeah.
And then, but Levi they're all like, oh no! Armin's like, fuck! And then Levi comes in. He goes, boo! He does a fun little like circle trajectory twirl, and then.
Then he's like, hey kids.
Yeah, I like how he's supposed to be like so much older than them, and he doesn't look like he is.
But then in anime, older is like 25.
Right.
Because they're all like 16.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
I forgot about
There's
that.
an anime thing.
And then
It's always 16.
Eren looks up and he literally says,
It's the Wings of Freedom.
There it is.
which is the name of the second movie.
Tsubasa.
Second movie, Wings of Freedom.
So
We end with Levi, which is
end
cool.
with Levi.
Yeah.
And then
It was very though. It was like, come on.
They just wanted to. They had to establish him as a badass, and then they have a little scene after that where him and his survey corps kind of come in and clean up some shit, and you see that his motivation is what is it? He sees his comrade die.
Yeah.
And he says, as he's dying, he says, your spirit will give me strength. Like even though you're dying, it wasn't because he's a good boss. He's not a shitty boss like the other guy.
He's a good boss.
He's a good boss.
Levi's amazing.
Yeah,
Aw.
not Levi. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, Levi.
But yeah, we'll see more of him in movie 2, which we may or may not cover. I feel like you tell us. Would you guys rather see us cover the second anime movie, or would you rather have us cover the terrible live action movie? We can do both.
We can do
there's-
either.
Both are two-parters.
I'm sure you can guess which one Michelle wants us to cover because she prefaced the live action movie with the terrible live action
No, but
movie.
people need to hear about this monstrosity.
Yeah.
They need to know.
Yeah.
They need to educate themselves.
It's like even when they had the teaser for that live action, I was like, this is gonna be shit. And then it came out and everybody's like, this is shit. That's like, no shit, guys. No shit.
All right, guys. So now we're gonna start wrapping up a little bit here. First, I want to hear what's your favorite line from the movie. Did anyone think about that at all?
Oh, that's right. That was in
guys
there.
How dare you? We said a lot of good ones as we were doing
I
that.
feel like we said a lot of the good ones.
Man.
I there's just a moment that I love because I didn't get my potato scene, but it's when she's holding the meat. And Sasha, it's not even a line. She just holds up the meat, and they respond to Sasha like, "You can't take meat. Meat is a delicacy. It's saved for only the captains. We can't eat meat." And she has this moment where she goes,
She's just like foaming at the mouth. And
"It's
drooling.
fantastic." She's such a wonderful comic relief character. And it's not like trying to be comical, like too comical. She's just naturally that way.
Yeah.
It's great. I just love that moment. I'm gonna go with that because I get something from Sasha.
All right. How about you, Miss Yume?
I don't have any lines, but if we're talking about like moments,
Okay.
it's gotta be like the end because Levi is my absolute favorite. And then like there's a part like okay no that's not true. There's a part where he's just like oh I'm dirty because he's like OCD because he's got blood in his hand and he's like oh it got me dirty. I was like yes I love you Levi.
He's like slashed all these titans.
Yeah,
like,
and he's
oh,
just
there's
like,
so much blood. Oh gosh, I hate that.
I guess if we're going by scenes and not words now, my favorite scene is when Eren is trying to get a hold of himself and he's having this flashback of him living in his house because he's trying to mentally escape from the situation, but he's actually in a Titan. And when Armin is talking to him through his neck, like, "Yo, dude, wake up! We gotta go see that outside world." And he, and when Armin says to him, like, if it's, the outside world is terrible and horrific, like, why do you want to go out there? And he kind of like has this realization. He stands up. And then you see like his sheets fall away, and then he looks forward at the camera, and he's like, "Because I was born." And then like everything lights on fire behind him. Yep. His parents, his image of his idealized life goes away, and he becomes the Titan and saves everybody.
Yeah.
So it was a good time. I'll tell you what. But that was. Attack on Titan is really good. It's hard to pick like a moment in time.
Yeah.
It's just a really good series in general.
Yeah, series, movie. I mean, the thing is, it's so popular, and it's not one of those things that's popular because it's stupid. It is really intense and powerful and moving. And if you've never seen the movie or if you've never seen the series or either one, at least watch one. I would say watch both always.
Yeah.
Maybe skip the live action from what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
But it's really a fantastic piece of work. Really is.
And I'm glad they separated it into 2 anime movies instead of just one really rushed 2-hour monstrosity. Because even in a 2-part movie, holy crap, we're missing out on a lot of stuff. I think, but it's because we know we're missing out.
Yeah,
I mean, if we
hadn't seen the series, we wouldn't know either way.
We'd still be confused about some shit.
There'd still be some jarring moments, but you're right. You would still be fine. So
like that fucking key. That fucking key!
Oh, the key! The key!
So
they don't
the
explain us, and we didn't cover that, did we? That's
didn't.
another thing that you'll miss. The key, the explanation of the key in the basement. In the movie, they don't do a good job of that. That's okay, though.
Suddenly he has a fucking key. And he's like, we gotta get to the basement. And it's like, whoa, you guys could have just took that part out because it doesn't make any sense when you say it out of context.
I mean, it doesn't even make sense, really, like, in the entire series. Because the entire time, even in the manga, everybody talks about getting to this fucking basement, but they never go to the basement.
No, they never go
The
to
key is
basement.
for the basement.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's give this movie a rating out of 5 stars.
Oh, gosh. You may.
I'm gonna say 4.5.
Okay. What are we losing that half star for?
Because I know I'm missing out on stuff. That's what it is. It's like, it's me being nitpicky and like we being like, I know that like I'd rather have more character development because I really like Annie, I really like Jean.
Right.
And it's just that I'm just like, no.
They're gonna suffer for that in the second movie when we're talking about the
And the
characters
potato.
constantly.
Yeah, especially
And
with Annie.
potato.
And the potato.
Yeah.
Now, I'm also going to give it 4.5.
You're not getting a drum roll, but
I was really hoping I'd get a drum roll.
like, screw you.
It's only one is in the budget. Only one is in the budget. Son of a babe. No, I'm gonna give it 4.5 just because the plot points, the big plot points, the holes that are missing. Because I'm gonna look at it from a perspective of I've only seen the movie. Even then, there's some really jarring moments where it would leave me going, "Whoa, what's going on?" Because it left me doing that even though I've seen the series. So 4.5 because still fantastic, but definitely. Hey.
Oh, good old Microsoft Emmy or whatever that is. I also have to give it a 4.5 for basically exactly the same reasons. We're losing a little bit of character development. There's like these 2 plotty holes that were like, what? They did go back and fill some. What plot holes did they fill? I heard they filled plot holes actually.
They did?
No, it was pacing.
Oh yeah.
It's because
the
the
pacing is so
TV
much
show.
better.
There's just it's like 25 minutes, and then a lot of it's just like the whole like you have like the recap of like 5 minutes in the beginning. Like last time, like 20 minutes of last time's episode was in this episode.
Yeah. But then they're also losing a half star for me for the whole get in the Evas, Shinji. It's a lot of that is God damn it, Shinji.
They had an 8-meter hole in the plot. No way to fix it quickly.
Use a rock.
They put a hole in they put a rock
Use a
in
big
the
old
hole.
rock.
Okay, you know what else? Okay, so you know what else I hate about the stupid rock thing? So you look at the stupid hole in the wall, and it's like this. It looks like a vagina. Let's be
Shaped
real.
like a V.
But he puts like the roundest boulder in it. It's like a circle. And he's like, there it goes. And I'm like, you put like a cheese ball in this thing, and it like
It still has holes. The hole still has holes.
There's Titans small enough to climb over the stupid like cheese ball boulder, and I'm just like,
You didn't do well with the little shape thing in kindergarten, all right?
Yeah, exactly. The round, the square, it didn't work.
It's nuts.
It's all right.
All right, guys. So we all very much loved Attack on Titan, the movie.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us for Otaku Movie Anatomy, Episode 2. Join us next week at 8 p.m. We'll be doing something else. I'm not sure what yet. I am ChubbyBunny Michelle. You can find me on the internet at I am ChubbyBunny.
I am Jonathan Meza, and you can find me at KaibaCat on all of the social things.
and I am Yume Ninja, and you can find me everywhere on the internet as Yume Ninja.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Let's give our finest salute. Boom! Oh, wait, I'm using the wrong hand.
Big eyes! Big eyes!
Wait.
And the entire Popcorn Talk Network. We would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
Views expressed herein are those of the hosts only, not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.